All right, what is going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it's raining outside and I'm kind of still in recovery mode from that 30 miler I did on Saturday, but I thought this would be a great time for me to sit down and talk about how I've been enjoying the Unived endurance fuel products. So sit back, relax, and I'm gonna tell you about how I've been fueling the last couple of weeks. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about gels, right? That's the number one thing that we use while we are fueling and exercising out there. So what I have in my hand here is the Black Cherry Unived regular gel. Now, this packs quite the punch. You get carbohydrates for immediate energy, you get the electrolytes for that hydration, and you also get beta-alanine. I hope I'm pronouncing that all right. And that is specifically to help fight fatigue and encourage and improve your endurance while out there on a long run. Now, a couple things about the regular gel. I love the flavor, the black cherry. The container is slightly smaller than the Elite, which obviously anyone likes. It's lighter, smaller, fits in a pocket a little bit better, and I found it pretty easy to consume while on the run. It has a similar design like any gel where you rip across the top, and it has a little bit of a connector where it doesn't necessarily rip all the way, and then you can squeeze that gel out. And the gel itself is quite a bit thinner than any other gel products that I've experienced so far, which I've really enjoyed. It kind of makes you feel like you're not getting that sticky mouth while you're running like a lot of other gels do. And finally, with these gels so far, I've had no issues in terms of digestion and in general tummy stuff, out there while you're running. And that's number one when it comes to nutrition. So overall, I've really enjoyed my experience with the regular gels, but now let's take a look at the Elite Gel.
10 toes down to the ground right now. Right now. Think I finally figured out who I am, what my style.
Okay, so in contention for the best product I've tried from Unived is the Vanilla Sea Salt Elite Gel. It is so delicious. I really can't even begin to describe. Well, I'm going to try to describe. It tastes like vanilla sea salt. But I would also say that while it has, the carbs, electrolytes, the beta-alanine, in addition, we now have the sodium bicarbonate, which helps fight lactic acid, which I believe what it does is it evens out the acidity and the pH that is caused by lactic acid in your muscles. So that's some scientific stuff right there. I would just say that I've fueled really well with these so far. Like I said, if you can go and check out my Gingermas 30 mile run last weekend, I fueled specifically with the regular gels, the black cherry and the Elite gels back and forth throughout the 30 mile run, 5.5 hours. I took a gel every 4 miles, which is a little bit more than normal, but I was going a slower pace. So that 4 mile mark was more of a 44 to 48 minute window. So I felt let's fuel as much as I can, make sure I'm not, dying out. It's easier to taper off on the gels than to try to catch up once you are fatigued. So that was the plan, and it worked so smoothly for me. I really had no issues. So ultimately, when it comes to the gels, and specifically the Elite gel, there is a couple things to consider. It's bigger, so you're carrying a little bit more. It's quite a bit bigger than a regular gel from any other company. That being said, I think that is it has to be bigger because it is a thinner substance, I guess. I don't know. It's a little bit thinner than most gels, quite a bit thinner, which I personally love. Most gels recommend take with water for a reason. This one, you could probably just take it and not necessarily need the water. So all the positives when it comes to the Elite gel. One little thing that I think is a little bit of a negative is it is a little bit hard to consume while running. Just like when you're ripping the gel, I've almost every time gotten some of the gel to leak down the side, and then I've got one sticky finger for the next 10 miles. It's not a big argument, not a huge downside, but it is a reality that it's thinner, and if you're kind of squeezing it while you're opening it, you might be making a vanilla sea salty mess. Okay, so moving on to the Elite drink. Now, this is a powder beverage that you're supposed to mix in with about 20 to 27 ounces of water to be taken hourly with gels during your exercises. Now, this is something that I ended up not really being a huge fan of, not because of anything Unived did or the product. It's just something that I normally tend to just want water with my, like, I feel with the gels or an actual, bar or something like that, and then I have it with water. But they do really pack a punch even beyond even the Elite gels with the inclusion of betaine. So I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but basically betaine in the Elite drink helps with cellular protection in the aspect of cellular hydration. So as you become more dehydrated, it is an added protection to your cells when it comes to staying hydrated. And obviously that's a pretty good thing when you're on a really long workout. So the Elite drink has, above and beyond aspects to it. It just wasn't really something that vibed well with how I exercise and what I desire during my workouts. I tend to really like water. I used the Elite drink twice just to give it a good test out on, I think, a 12 miler and a 15 miler. It didn't seem really necessary for me. That being said, if it is something that you tend to use, if you do use some sort of like a noon tablet drink while exercising, this could be a really cool replacement, I would say, for that.
Lucid dreams, so I can't be out here living stupid. I love hard, so you could say I was shot by Cupid. Say less, but every now and then I drop my 2 cents.
All right, friends, so we have come to the main protagonist of this story in this line, in my opinion, the recovery beverage. I had the creamy vanilla. They actually sent me 2 different flavors. The other one was like a chocolate flavor, but the creamy vanilla was like the bee's knees. It's absolutely delicious. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about what's in it, and then I'll tell you about how I consumed it and just how much I like it. So it has a 4-to-1 ratio when it comes to carbohydrates and protein in there. So you are getting your protein, which is great for like muscle recovery, but you're also getting the carbohydrates, which come to overall recovery and kind of that energy return, which I think is really cool because I think it caters a little bit more to the endurance athlete as opposed to your regular protein supplements that you would get at like the grocery store, which may be a little bit higher in the protein, focused on your muscle recovery, but maybe not focusing on the whole body recovery beyond that. That being said, it also has a bunch of vitamins in there. It's packed with vitamin C, some potassium in there. So you're getting a little bit more of a well-rounded recovery beverage, which now to the super bonus part, I would say tastes amazing. The first couple times I did consume it, I only mixed it with water because I wanted to see how it tasted. Then I started to get a little bit more into the things that I like to have in my recovery drinks as well. So I started mixing, a cup of oat milk. I would put the protein powder in there, and then I would chop up a whole banana. I would put some chia seeds in there, and I would blend that up in our like Ninja Bullet that we have in the kitchen counter. And that would be like the recovery smoothie of a lifetime. Cannot recommend that enough. It's absolutely delicious. If you're going to get one thing from the Unived line that I've tried and that I've talked about today, seriously would recommend. The creamy vanilla was like real good. So that really kind of puts the cherry on top of the products that I've gone through today. Okay, guys, that is gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Maybe you've been inspired to try out some of the Unived products. Again, I want to thank Unived for sending me these to try out. I will for sure be looking into getting my hands on more of at least the recovery beverage and most likely the gels as well. If you got anything out of this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. We're pretty close to 1,000, so maybe if you've been putting off hitting the sub button, that would be kind of cool. I'd appreciate it, that's for sure. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Oh, everything's vegan. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Straight up labeled vegan, not that like may contain or was, processed in a factory that also processes things with milk and eggs and stuff. These are straight up vegan, which is pretty cool and something I definitely look for.